You're thinking about moving to the beautiful city of Spokane, Washington, but before you do, you need to get online, do a little research, get the lowdown, the ins, the outs of everything going on, of what it means to live here in this beautiful city of ours. Well, look no further, because today we're going to get into all of that and more. We're going to cover all the pros and cons of Spokane and what it means to be a local Spokaneite. Be rest assured, we're leaving nothing on the table. I'm going to give you guys absolutely everything you need to know from a local Spokaneite's perspective, giving you a great sense if Spokane is the right place for you. All that and more on today's episode of Living in Spokane, so let's get to it. Spokane, Washington, the second largest city in the state of Washington itself, oftentimes pronounced by outsiders as Spokane, which would be wrong. I wanted to put together a video resource that you could utilize to help you understand all the ins and outs of this wonderful city, how it works, the good, the bad, the ugly, so that you could see if this is a good fit for you. But before we get into it, I just want to ask you guys if you could please go ahead and hit that sub button below. It really helps a growing channel out. And I just want you guys to know that we get calls, texts, emails, and messages every single day from people just like you who are looking to move to Spokane, Washington. Okay, well, enough of that. Let's get into the episode right now. So our first pro that we're going to get into is Spokane's natural beauty. Spokane has the nickname of the Lilac City, and we're literally famous for the Spokane River that runs east to west right through the heart of the city itself. With one of the largest cascading waterfalls within the city in the entire United States, you can be rest assured if you're an outdoor enthusiast, whatever you are into, within 45 minutes of Spokane itself, you're going to be able to find it. Whether it's hiking the Centennial Trail, a 37-mile long trail that runs right through Spokane itself, all the way to the Idaho border. Our South Hills premier park, Manitou Park, which is an absolute botanical gem, which features ponds and diverse gardens and a literal Japanese garden, a conservatory with exotic plants, and even a butterfly sanctuary. Not only that, we have a Riverside State Park, and depending on what information you look at, is over 9,100 acres to 14,000 acres in size, which of course is a haven for hikers, bikers, and horseback riders alike. For you skiers out there, we have Mount Spokane about 45 minutes away. But if that doesn't quite cut it for you, we have over a dozen ski resorts within a 2-hour drive of Spokane. If summer is more your thing, like myself, we have over 76 lakes within an hour's drive of Spokane. Seriously, our natural beauty cannot be overstated. We literally incorporate the nature within the cityscape itself, with trees and greenery and gardens alike all throughout our downtown and suburban areas. Spokaneites really pride themselves on incorporating the city with the naturescape. Now, on the flip side of that, one of our major cons is our limited public transportation. If you're from one of our larger sister metropolitan areas like Seattle, Portland, and or Boise, you may find Spokane's public transportation system a little bit lackluster. With that being said, we do have some cool features like the Riverfront Park Skyride system, which can give you some very scenic and stunning views of downtown Spokane and our waterfront landscape itself. We also have a metric ton of Lime scooters and Lime transportation alternative vehicles, think bikes and such, which are a really popular choice for short distance travel along the city itself. Some other good news about our transportation system: the STA, Spokane Transit Authority, is working on expanding our public transportation system, so the future does look bright. Not only that, for you bikers out there, many of the arterial roads in Spokane do have a dedicated bike lane just for them. Moving right along to our next pro is our city's affordable housing. I find with my clients, this is the number one factor that I come across on why they're considering a move to Spokane. Just to give you an idea, compared to our sister city of Seattle, the cost of living in Spokane is a little over 30% less than Seattle itself. Not only that, Seattle's average home price right now is about $785,000, while here in Spokane it's about $375,000. Yet, and this is the big one, employers here only pay a little bit less than our Seattle counterparts, about 10.8% less pay. So what that means for you is a 30% lower cost of living, about a 50% cheaper home price on average, yet you're only going to experience a 10.8% reduction in your actual pay for the same type of work. Meaning if you're able to get an apples to apples job, your equivalent over here in Spokane itself, the math just makes sense. You're going to get more home and a better cost of living per dollar earned. What's also really cool about our housing market is that we have a vast diversity of housing options and price points available to anyone. If traditional homes aren't your style, we have everything from historic mansions, modern condos, and we even have townhomes if that is something that interests you. One of the cool things that I find about Spokane that you just don't see in other cities is every single one of our neighborhoods does have its very own distinct feel and construction style unique to that neighborhood itself. You can see a great example of this from Spokane's own Browns Edition, which is really well known for its historical artsy character, all the way to the very family-friendly 5 Mile Prairie neighborhood. Also, a lot of our older historic neighborhoods such as Hilliard, South Perry District, or Lower South Hill, and so on have seen major revitalization efforts in recent years. And if you still find Spokane's housing market not affordable enough for you, our Spokane Housing Authority provides resources and programs to assist first-time home buyers and low-income families alike. Those resources, of course, are going to be linked down below. Back to the other side of the pendulum, with a major con that we do experience is Spokane occasionally gets major snowfall. One of the things that you'll notice when you live in Spokane is you'll start to notice a pattern in the cycles of the winters that are around here. We'll get several winters that are mild in nature, which will be our El Nino effect, and then every once in a while, about every 5 years or so, you'll get an El Nina, which will cause record snowfall. The last one, in fact, caused some of our local roofs to cave in. But don't worry, as long as your home is insured, it does cover snow damage. The positive spin of that is that our skiing is absolutely excellent in this area. Mount Spokane, for example, has over 1,600 acres of skiable terrain for you to utilize whenever your family wishes. Winters here are definitely not for the faint of heart, but Spokaneites have really learned to embrace our winter season with a multitude of activities, festivals, and things to do. For example, our Kendall Yards night market turns into a winter wonderland during the winter and holiday months. Our historic and popular Bing Crosby Theater hosts their holiday film festival every year, and our very own Riverfront Park transforms the landscape, creating what is known as the Skating Ribbon, which is a unique attraction to our area that is less like a traditional skating rink, where you actually follow a path of ice that they carve out every single year that you can follow on your ice skates with your family while drinking your hot cocoa. While we're talking about all of those winter activities, now's a good time to get into another one of our pros. Spokane has a thriving arts and culture scene. The Northwest Museum of Arts and Culture, in fact, showcases regional art and rotating exhibits, providing a diverse cultural experience. We also have our First Friday Art Walk, a beloved tradition, where local galleries open their doors to the public. And we can't mention our local culture without talking about Bloomsday. Spokane's Lilac Bloomsday Run, known by the locals as just Bloomsday, is literally one of the largest timed races in the entire nation. It really is an experience like no other. It is one part race and one part festive community spirit. I have many clients and friends who have multiple Bloomsday shirts that they hand out every single year, and they collect them over the years. Going through some of their closets is literally like going through a time capsule. We also have the Spokane Civic Theater, which was established in 1947, which is a local institution known for its live performances and avid community engagement. Now back to one of our cons. If the big city life really is your jam, then Spokane can really feel like it has small city vibes. In fact, one of our nicknames is the biggest small town you've ever been to. This has a lot to do that everywhere you go, once you kind of establish good roots here in the city itself, you're going to find that wherever you go, it is highly likely you may run into someone that you know. This gives Spokane, despite its actual size as the number 2 largest city in the state of Washington, a very small town feel. A lot of our locals really like that fact about Spokane. That small town vibe really does emanate through the community itself. itself. Many of our neighbors actually know each other here, which really does foster a family-friendly environment. In fact, some of our neighborhoods are very picturesque, straight out of a storybook, like our South Hill neighborhood, for example, which will have charming historic homes with tree-lined streets, and in the fall, it is an absolute epic landscape. This tight-knit community approach also leaches into our local small businesses, with many of the establishments really embracing a personalized and customer-centric approach to doing business. Now, if you ask a local Spokaneite, we will say that there's an absolute horrific traffic issue here, but the reality is, if you are from one of our larger metropolitan cousin cities, you know, the ones with real traffic, Spokane may feel like a dream to you. As with my experiences, having been lived in not only Spokane, but the city of Seattle itself, I find that traffic times here are roughly half of what you could expect in any major metropolitan city. Now, one of the major pros of our city is our 4-season climate. Something unique to us, especially with the vast majority of our southern cousin states. Spokane is really well known for having 4 distinct seasons, each with their own character, attributes, and maintenance items required to maintain your home in our area. Starting off with spring. Spring here is one of those seasons where everything just comes to life. We're coming out of our dead winter season. All the trees start getting green, the weather starts warming up, everything gets a little drier, and you can really feel the city coming back to life. Being at the latitude that we are, we experience a dramatic swing in day and nighttime cycles throughout the year, with our summertime daylight hours lasting well past 9 p.m. So spring really is one of those times where you start kind of gathering up all your stuff, cleaning out your home, and start really planning for the summer months ahead. Summers here in Spokane really are a treasure. It's some of the best weather conditions in all of the United States. We have so many lakes and outdoor activities, such as concerts at our very own riverfront park itself. The outdoor, close-knit community vibe is just like nothing else you've ever really experienced before. The days are very long, and what you do find in our summer months is a lot of the community does a lot of community and gathering events. And this happens at the city level and all the way down to our local neighborhoods and in our homes themselves. What I mean by that is, because our summer months are so cherished here, you're oftentimes inviting your friends over to hang out on your back porch and enjoy a good barbecue. These summer months activities tend to be frequent and common here, so prepare yourself for being invited to numerous summertime events and activities. Fall time around here is a quintessential fall, with all of the leaves starting to fall, turning shades of orange and yellow. It is absolutely beautiful and picturesque. Many of the locals like to go to our Green Bluff area, which hosts a lot of small family-owned farms where you can handpick your pumpkins yourself to carve for the Halloween holiday that's just around the corner. A lot of the community gets really active around this time, preparing for the winter ahead, the school season that's about to start, and really taking in the last moments of warm weather. Fall time around here really does feel like a transitionary time where you really prepare for the holiday season that's just ahead. Our winters are long and cold, but there is so much to do if you have winter hobbies. For those of you that like to ski and snowboard, there's an absolute abundance of mountains and areas to do that, as well as outdoor hiking or cross-country skiing alike. A big sport around here, yes, is hockey. So wintertime for a lot of the locals is a great time to catch a Spokane Chiefs game, put on your skates, and really have a good time. Now, one of the major concerns on the con side of the equation is our limited diversity in our cuisine. But look, I want to put this rumor to bed right now, and I know we're supposed to be talking about a con, but really this is one of our major pros. Sorry, I tricked ya. Spokane, in fact, is a culinary testing ground for new restaurant concepts. It is common here for restaurateurs around the world to open up new restaurant concepts within the city of Spokane and our surrounding areas, with the thought process that if the concept does well and thrives here, that it will thrive in any market in the United States. Now, as far as abundance of choices, if you have very niche tastes, you may find Spokane lackluster in that department, but typically as a rule of thumb, we have at least one of everything. One of the major pros that I find for new clients moving to the Spokane area is our economic diversity. We're experiencing rapid growth and expansion all around the city, and that does include our local economy and job markets. The growth of our university district, for example, is creating more economic diversity by expanding opportunities in education, research, and innovation. Our twin city of Spokane Valley really truly is an expanding, growing economic hub, which is attracting a lot of new businesses to that area. Spokane's commitment to sustainability has also led to a lot of job and growth options for eco-friendly businesses, promoting a greener economy. There's also a major construction boom around here, so whether it's apartment complexes, the north-south freeway, or literally just handyman work on the side, there is so many opportunities for the trades in Spokane. Now, for a lot of my out-of-town clients that are business-minded and centric and have to travel a lot for their job themselves, they're really concerned about Spokane's limited travel options. I can understand this being a concern, but here are some things to note. Spokane's airport is just a short 15-minute commute from the city itself. The Spokane airport is an international airport with flights connecting to obviously overseas destinations, and albeit yes, the airport itself is smaller in nature, meaning you may not have as many direct flights as you would like, but Spokane's proximity to cities like Boise, Portland, and Seattle usually mean that you can get away with just a single connecting flight to get to wherever you're going. I find that the size of the Spokane airport itself is really a good thing due to the fact that you can expect your regular wait times to be roughly cut in half. I'm talking about getting through security and to your gate itself, which could be a godsend for those of us that travel often. One thing on the pro side for those of you moving to Spokane that is very hard for an outsider to understand is Spokane really is a city that grows on you over time. Many of my friends and clients who have moved here or moved elsewhere and moved back absolutely find that while yes, other cities may be more exciting in certain areas, but ultimately Spokane is the place where they choose to plant roots and raise their families. There is just something about the fresh air, clean water that you can drink right out of the hose, our beautiful nature four-season setting, rarely being more than 15 minutes away from wherever you're going, mixed with, yes, the size of the city itself usually means that whatever you need, whatever type of store or thing that you're looking for, that yes, Spokane does provide it. For me, it truly is the best of both worlds. Major metropolitan resources, yet within 20 minutes you can be in literally the middle of the woods. As someone that's literally traveled and lived all around the United States, I can say that that specifically is an experience unlike anything else I've ever seen before. There's just something about the biggest small town you've ever been to. A city chock full of red brick and historic buildings laid everywhere, the river running through the heart of the city itself, completely surrounded by mountains and trees, lakes and rivers. Spokane is both an outdoor enthusiast dream and a perfect family environment. I honestly feel that for the rest of my life, I'll have some sort of roots planted within this city just because of this very indescribable factoid about our great city. There's just nothing else like it. Alright guys, that's what I have for you for today. If you liked today's video, if you'll do me a huge favor and hit that like button below, it really helps the algorithm in pushing our content out there. And if you would like to know more about our wonderful city of Spokane and the surrounding area itself, be sure to subscribe to this channel. We are living in Spokane and we are relocation experts. If you're thinking about a move to Spokane, be sure to call, text, email, or message us with any of the information that you find below, and one of my team or I will get on that phone with you and we're going to help facilitate your relocation to Spokane A to Z. I look forward to meeting you and introducing you to this wonderful city, and until next time guys, see you later.